Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 18th of August. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Silver Lake, Airtasker, WiseTech, Taruga Minerals and Rivers Gold. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you signed up to the free newsletter, but our Better Ideas come out every Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you have subscribed to that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, I'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you'd like to open a trading account with me and have me guide you in terms of what to buy and what to sell and when to do it, then please let me know. And the advice here is general only. So we have a daily chart here of Silver Lake. So the first thing I spotted was over several weeks here, we had some divergence. So we've got between the low in May and June, share price going lower, but RSI trending higher. So that's led to a bit of a bounce, and it has been trending well, and it does look sustainable. I mean, we've bounced here, nice little consolidation, another rally, consolidation, another rally, little consolidation here, lower volume. So to me, it looks like it wants to continue heading higher. The next big test is this June peak, and obviously if it can crack that, that would be a bullish sign. Airtasker, so most of the time this stock has existed in a downtrend, but most recently it seems to be breaking that downtrend. So if we're looking at sort of the peaks and troughs, if we say call this the prior peak, it's now broken that. So it seems to be making a higher low, a higher high. When it did break this high, it did so on very big volume. So we could see a nice big volume here on the bounce. And even on other days where it's moved higher, there's been a good increase in volume. So looks like it should just continue heading higher. I mean, in terms of where to buy and sell now, I think if you've got resistance there at 50 and price support looks to be at 40 cents, it's smack bang in the middle. So I think if it falls under 40 cents, that's a sell. And in terms of a buy, I'd like to see it crack 50. WiseTech, so like a lot of tech stocks, sort of peaked at the end of last year, big decline, but it has managed to recover most of that decline. So that very strong rally off that low, I think is a bullish sign for the stock. At the moment, it's coming up to some resistance here. It looks like $55 is a bit of a level for it, but it is just consolidating under. It hasn't been sold off heavily, so that's actually a good sign. I think it's worth keeping an eye on. An upside break through 55, I think will be the opportunity to buy or add to your position. In terms of a sell, probably if we just look at this range here, I think if it was to break under this low here near $52, then that would be a negative. Okay, Taruga, so it looks like obviously had this big downtrend here, but it seems to be forming a nice base. There's obvious resistance at 3 cents. So it's been making these higher lows, sort of flat resistance there at 3 cents. So basically a break of 3 cents I think would be a buy if it can close up here. And judging by what it did yesterday, it looks like it may well want to try that in the short term. So I think that would be a buy, and I'd just look at this diagonal sort of trend line here as the stop level. And finally RGL, so obviously big spike up in March like a lot of these smaller stocks, given most of it back. Formed a bit of a base here on no volume, tight range, and then it broke, gapped up there at above 3 cents on a big increase in volume. So that would have been the buy signal. It's carried on for a couple of days, and now it's just consolidating. So we've had this big range here from last Thursday. It still seems to be within that range, so can't get too negative on that. And I'd just say if it can clear this little range here, that would be the buying opportunity. And in terms of the sell levels, I think if it was to break to the underneath of that range. Okay, well, that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and we'll try to look at it next week.